Hey everyone, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. You might be looking around going, why is John in the lower left-hand corner? Why does Ted get the throne tonight? Why does the background look different? Why is there a giant beholder displayed on the screen? That's because it's Amuse-bouche time, everybody. We're playing Shadowdark once again. The main reason we're doing this is because it's a fun game, and Ted volunteered, which is super awesome, but also because in our normal campaign, the Halls of Art and Vool, we are right on the cusp of episode 100, and we want all of us there, all five of us there. And this weekend that was not attainable. So Ted did the heroic thing and volunteered to run us through a quick little adventure of his own design for Shadowdark. Ted, we're gonna throw it over to you.
Okay.
And give us the pronunciation of the adventure that we're running and to give us a brief intro.
All right, everybody. Well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to do this. I'm very excited. I have not run a game yet for 3D6 Down the Line, so that's going to be pretty cool. Secondly, I wrote this adventure for a group of kids that I'm teaching to play old school gaming style, very OSR, and that's in OSE. So I converted it to Shadowdark, really because I knew Mike would like that. So I did it for you, Mike. I did it for you. And so the title of today's adventure, the word is pronounced Armansquagulat, John.
Nice. Armansquagulat.
I nail that every single time.
Armansquagulat.
It sounds Rhodesian to me.
I've nominally said it in my own homebrew world, which you guys have played in before, but never on screen. But it won't matter for this. It's because it's very much a one-shot kind of adventure. I don't have to fill you in on any background. So I'm just going to read out my intro, and we'll get started.
Cool.
But before we do that, maybe you guys want to introduce your characters real fast. Cool. John?
Sure. Let me throw them on the screen here. So we're both playing thieves, which is pretty cool. Let's see how that works out. My guy is a human thief. His name is a Schwiver. He's a real... I'm kind of modeling him off of the Bill Sykes character, the Oliver Reed character from Oliver.
Nice.
He's a mean bastard. But yeah, not much to him. He's high dex, decent strength, kind of smart and healthy, but stupid as shit.
Well, and that's the way we like him, John. That's how we like him. So I just want to say we used a random character generator for these guys from shadowdarklings.net. So anyone who hasn't checked that out, it was pretty cool when I found it. You can add in all the different zines that are out by Arcane Library, or you can strip it down to kind of the base model, which is what we did. So we don't have like all the, newer races, newer classes, or any of those backgrounds. And you can literally, and John and I will probably be doing this tonight, be randomly generating new characters as we fall to the wiles of Ted and Almangaba's squat.
And these two were also generated 3D6 down the line, totally randomly. So
yeah. Absolutely.
Yep.
And I am playing Hregath Rotstone. Now, the only thing I didn't randomly generate was the name, mainly just because I wanted to play like a dwarf thief. Stat-wise, I actually did pretty good for dex, and then my first trait for first level thief was a +2 to dexterity. So I'm pretty much middle of the road, except I have a 16 dex and a 12 intelligence. So, and then I did a dwarf, and I was banished, which is like the random background. I have like 2 pages of backstory. Should we do that now, Ted, or do we want to wait?
That'll be our detox.
Okay, cool. That'll be our detox. Anyway, yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the Tomb of Armansquagulat. Recently, while browsing in the bookseller's stalls in the great city of Kadaris, you uncovered a worn and much abused scrap of parchment describing what purported to be an ancient temple unknown to modern adventurers. Completely lost during the Goblin Wars and utterly forgotten during the long years of conflict and human expansion, such a find would likely be undisturbed and unlooted. While the shrine itself is probably of some cultural significance, the scrap goes on to claim that considerable wealth lies within, for the shrine was said to be the tomb of Armansquagulat. A great goblin warrior, he would almost certainly have been buried with his arms and trappings. The scrap of parchment was hidden inside a book of goblin legends and lore, carefully marking a short tale known as the Legend of Armansquagulat. A summary of the tale is here recounted. Long ago, when the goblin chiefs ruled in wisdom and justice throughout all the lands, there was a mighty hero known as Armansquagulat. Brave was he and bold, a leader among the warriors of the Nosebone tribe, and renowned throughout all the tribes as much for his grace and fair countenance as for his swift blade and doughty form. Above all, he was respected for his wisdom and fairness in all things, especially the rewards of gold and jewels heaped upon his warband. To each was accorded a portion equal to their contribution, but also in consideration of their need, and his warriors held him in high regard for his careful attention. In the days of wars against the dragon men of Zerg, the war bands of the Nosebones fought many battles to defend their lands. Armansquagulat's war band, the Fighting Squagulats, were tasked with the I told you I wrote this for kids.
It's great.
They got a big kick out of this. They were tasked with the defense and protection of Important Hill, a hill that was very important to the Nosebones. The dragon men came and attacked Armansquagulat, defeated their leader in battle, thus earning himself a great reward. The dragon men leader wore a bright golden torque with jeweled eyes set into dragon faces and made from heavy braided gold. Legend says it possessed mighty magical powers. Armansquagulat took it and wore it always ever after, and upon his death it became the center of a shrine dedicated to his memory. Having followed the directions on the scrap, after many days of travel, you now stand in the valley wherein the shrine was purported to be located. That these were once goblin lands is evident from the standing stones you have already passed, each one deeply carved with worn and mysterious glyphs and symbols. High in the hills of the western frontiers, few men have traveled here in living memory, and the area is wild and untamed. Stunted trees, gnarled and twisted by the cold, dry winds of the lower steppes, dot the landscape, and your eye searches the surround for signs of the shrine. After much careful exploration, the clues of the scrap begin to match up with the landscape, and you are able to locate the entrance, now just a jumble of rocks and rubble, barely recognizable as ever having been stones worked by goblin craft to honor one of their greatest heroes.
Cool.
So you are in a sort of a valley, and the hill rises up ahead of you, and you're standing in front of, from a distance, what looks just like a jumble of stones, but from where you are, you can see that it's sort of an opening towards a door, a stone door, and round, set into a larger rock. And the door is intact largely, but there's a sort of a broken out chunk, a gap down in the lower corner. And otherwise, that is what you see. It is daylight. The weather is fine. And you're about, we'll say, 20 feet away.
And the are you saying that this hill is made out of rock mostly, or is it like overgrown with grass and?
Yeah, it's there's lots of. It's a very rocky landscape.
Yeah,
but there's dirt and grass over the hill as well. Yeah, and there's some stunted trees and gorse and shrubs and so on.
Okay.
And how big would you say is this hill? Which is the hill does not encompass what we think is the entire tomb, correct? Is this like a barrow kind of like scenario?
You don't know if it's just a barrow or if it's more complicated than that, but it's quite a large hill.
Okay. Do we want to do like a circumnavigation, John, just to scout it out? What time of day is it too?
Yeah. Let's say it's 11 a.m.
Okay. And just so I know, Ted, how much daylight do we have coming up? Like time of year? Like I got to plan ahead.
You will not turn into a pumpkin for another 9 hours.
And you said that there's no standing stones on this hill itself. There's just the opening that indicates that it's
right.
Something made it.
You've passed standing stones elsewhere in the region, so you know you're in goblin country.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But there's none here on the hill. It's otherwise a featureless hill, and you wouldn't have even ever thought about it if you hadn't had this little description from the scrap of parchment.
Have we heard any rumors that goblins in this area actively protect this mound?
Goblins no longer live in these rings. They've been driven out centuries ago. This is why it's forgotten.
What, Ted? By
humans.
what?
By humans.
Oh, okay.
The worst.
All right. And have we seen on our journey here, have we seen any evidence of other intelligent or otherwise predatory beasts in the area?
Not in the last day or two. You've been definitely in the wilds. You haven't seen anything unusual in terms of local fauna. Certainly, mountain goats and deer and things like that. But you haven't noticed anything, dragons lurking around or anything crazy like that.
I hate lurking dragons.
Yeah.
So the main treasure that we're looking for is this Dragon Man amulet. Torque. Is it a torque?
Torque.
Yeah.
The torque is the only thing specifically named in the legend and in the scrap of parchment. But the notes that you found, also suggested that because the goblins at the time tended to bury their dead with grave goods, that there will be other things present.
Okay, and is his warband also supposed to be buried here with all of their goods as
Unclear.
well? Unclear. Okay. Cool. All right, let's do that circumnavigation.
Yeah, let's short bow out, Ted, and let's go witter shins around the hill.
Okay. So you will proceed to do that without any difficulty. The terrain is somewhat rocky and the footing is difficult, but not impossible. You're seasoned hikers, and you don't find any evidence of other doors, for example, or other standing stones or anything to suggest that there's anything under the hill. You do see lots of rocks and rubble that indicate that this is a very old spot. Like there's no new fresh rock or anything like that. New spoor or what's the word for after you excavate what you push out? Spillage or
slag.
No, nothing like that. Okay. It's a hill, and if it weren't for the note, you really would be like, I don't know, man, this can't be the place.
Except for the giant stone door.
Now, the stone door you said in the lower left-hand corner looked like it had been pried open or broken.
Broken. The stone seems to have cracked and crumbled.
Does that look natural, or does it look like someone tried to force it?
You haven't gotten close enough to see.
I get close enough to see.
That.
Okay. So you don't encounter anything else on your circumnavigation. You come back around to the door and you get up close, and you see that it looks like frost and weather and rain and so on have conspired to eventually crack this door, and a chunk has broken out. But looking closely, you see that there is evidence of traffic of some kind from inside and out. It's like something's passed through here many times. You can try and examine it more closely if you want.
Yeah,
man. I'm gonna get my nose right in there and sniff that area for whatever smell, looking for tracks, like anything like that.
Okay. You get right down in there. You definitely see evidence that something, in fact, has been rubbing along these stones. There is signs of wear. You don't see how to put it, prints that you recognize, like wolf prints or footprints or anything like that, but definitely markings of something having passed through here. And there is a distinct smell inside, somewhat vinegary.
I rub my finger around the edge of the broken apart thing to see if any slime or anything like that kind of comes off.
Not slime, but as you're rubbing your finger, you do come up with a tiny scale.
Scale.
Serpents. Serpents. How big is this hole in the door? Is it big enough to go through?
It would be big enough to pass through if you sort of got down and belly crawled through it. Yes.
Okay. Do we want to do that, man, or do we want to investigate whether or not we can just open the door wide and flood it with daylight? I
think we should just try to open it. I think it was probably some kind of weird creature that didn't have the capability to open a door.
Okay. So let's do an investigation of the door then, Ted. You said it was carved?
It is a round door, as you investigate, you see that it's actually like the style of door. It's a wheel set into kind of a track or something. So it would roll to the side.
Okay. So, but are there any carvings or markings or "stay out of here, you scummy little dwarf" or anything like that written on the door?
This door appears to be either unmarked or the markings have worn off.
Okay. All right, John. So I guess my thoughts are we could use the hole in the door as leverage, jam a couple crowbars in there and try and slide it down its track, or we can look for some sort of catch or release.
We don't even know if it's locked, right? Like it might just slide, right? I try to just apply a little bit of force. Does it seem to want to move along the track?
So you're just with your hands trying to roll it?
Ooh,
Yeah.
That made me nervous.
Well, I'll go for it, but there's two like basically like long horizontal tracks like made out of like that the wheel would sort of spin.
I see what you're saying. You can't see the tracks except like where the edge is broken.
Yeah.
You can kind of see that there is a channel.
Yeah.
And you've inferred that it rolls in there, but it's all hidden inside the stonework. It's like set in, and there's a kind of a rim around it.
Gotcha.
So you can't see the track itself, only that it's in one.
Okay. Ears peeled, I'll put my hand open palm on the center of the door and just press, like not to try to open, but just to sort of like, does a sigil appear? Do I get smoked? What,
I hide behind a rock when he does that.
Nothing unusual happens.
Okay.
It's cold to the touch, slightly bit of lichen on it, very rough.
Okay, now I attempt to shove it to the side that I think it probably moves whatever direction.
All right,
do we want to use a grappling hook and some rope, John, or do you want to can we?
I just want to see like if it's well, like maybe it just works.
John's like, hell, man. He's like, fuck it. I'll make another character. Go ahead, man.
So you are able to move it just a fraction before you feel that it stops moving. It jams up on something.
Yeah. All right. So now let's use the crowbar or whatever.
Okay.
What do we got? Right. Grappling hook. Yeah.
I have a crowbar and I have a grappling hook.
You and I have the exact same thing because we both bought like the
same kit.
Pack.
Yeah, actually, I'm lying to you. I don't think I have a crowbar. Do you have a grappling hook?
So do I. Yeah.
Okay. So, but I'm sure we could rig a grappling hook and an iron spike to create kind of like a pulley, Ted in the rocks.
Some kind of force multiplier, you're saying?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right.
And it has the added advantage of not having to stand right in front of the door while we do it.
Oh, nice. I like that. Okay. So go ahead and make a strength check. But because you have the grappling hook and the leverage, you can roll it at advantage.
Okay. Are you strong, John?
I'm 13.
You're stronger than I.
Is it just one of us making the check?
So here's a great situation for, I don't know how to do this actually in Shadowrun. Is there a rule for two people trying to do the same strength check? I didn't find one.
I can definitely get the book, but what I would do is you've already given us advantage for the force multiplier. So typically, going back to like my head, you can't get advantage and then advantage.
Right. So such would be my assumption.
So your thing is you could give us advantage and then you could either modify the difficulty class that we're trying to hit, or you could give us a bonus to the roll. One of the two.
Well, I rolled a 15 total. Is that enough to solve the problem?
You rolled what?
A 15 total.
With advantage?
With advantage, yeah. And I rolled a 14 on the die and I have a +1 strength.
And the other roll was lower, I take it.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So here's what I think I had this is what I like about playing these games like this and working our way through this, and I hope this is fun for viewers. So my notes on this, what I had decided was that this door is not possible for one person to open, but two people doing it together get a certain DC, a lower DC for more people, and you can use advantage if you have a force multiplier.
Oh, well, then if that's the case, then both of us could do it then, right?
Well, I assumed you both were.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're both pulling on it. We had John roll because he had the modifier, and that is not enough.
Oh.
It's clearly, you can feel it grinding. There's rocks in the channel on the other side, and it doesn't roll.
Okay. I'm going to look, Ted. I'm going to do a search for like a catch or a release, something in the stone, using like my dwarven knowledge of stonework, which may or may not be a thing, to see if I were going to put something in here like that, where would it be? And I'll check like the rim of the door, and I'll look for anything that might be. It could even just be a pin that holds the door in place or whatever.
So you do that. Your knowledge is sufficient to determine that this was actually very well crafted, that the door, were there nothing blocking it, would probably have rolled extremely easily. You're not finding any catches or handles or anything, only that there's probably something grit or whatever preventing it from rolling smoothly. Possibly when it cracked, it's shifted or something like that, and so it's just not easy to move.
Well, John, it looks like we might need to do a little army crawl through the hole on the floor.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I say what we should do. How many torches do you have, John?
Same as you.
You have two?
Okay. The only thing different between the two of us is you have a bow, I have a sword.
Okay. I will light a torch, Ted.
Yes.
And I'm going to I don't know how deep is the thing you have to army crawl through. Is it like 6 feet, or is it literally like I can stick my arm through it?
You can stick your arm through it. It's about 10 to 12 inches thick, this wheel.
Gotcha. I'm going to lay on my belly with the torch out in front of me. Okay. And I'm going to kind of get my head maybe halfway through so I can see around inside the area. And Swiver, maybe you want to grab my feet, and if I shriek, you can pull me out.
Okay, we'll do.
So first of all, I will say we're going to use the 1 hour torch rule in Shadowdark. So it's
lots of people were mad when I didn't do that, Ted.
Yep,
so
we're doing it this time. I think it's a neat rule. So 10:30 tonight, your torch goes out.
Okay.
So second, you put the torch in first, right? That was your plan?
Yeah, I'm not going to let it hit the ground because I don't want it to hit water and go out. So I'm going to kind of like army crawl with it in front of me, if that's okay.
Okay. So you put it in, and it immediately illuminates a passage about 5 feet wide, about 8 feet high, of dressed and closely fitted stone. There's lots of leaves and muck inside here, but not a pool of water or anything like that. So you put it in, you're looking in the hole. You don't see anything immediately grinning back at you, so you start to crawl in. However, when you are about halfway in, you do see something come running right at you. Okay. It is, you don't know what it is. You've never seen such a hideous thing. It is a cross between an insect and a lizard. It has a lot of teeth. It's about the size of a dog, a little bigger than Elvis, I would say. And it appears extremely unhappy that you are in there. So are you shrieking? And John pulls you out because it's attacking you.
Yeah, I don't know what the order of actions would be here, but I will try and bop it in the face with my flaming torch and then shriek like I've never shrieked before.
Okay. So I think we have an initiative roll.
Okay.
And I have a 16.
And refresh my memory, it's a 20-sided?
D20 plus your dex modifier.
And do we roll individual, or are we rolling sides?
As rules is written, appears we're supposed to roll as individuals.
Okay. Then I got a 13.
Okay.
No,
for me.
I'm sorry. It's plus your dex. So I got a 15.
All right. I'm just ahead of you. Okay. We're going to... the presence of your torch has saved you, no doubt, because its pincers come close, but you wave the torch around and it fails to bite you, and you start shrieking. You can try and whack it with the torch if you want as you're being pulled out.
I will try to whack it with the torch, Ted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll it, baby.
I'm just going to roll. You can tell me, is a torch a finesse weapon, Ted?
I don't think so. You're not trained in torch.
I hit AC 13 with my torch.
All right. This is probably why it failed to bite you properly. You give it a stout whack.
Nice.
I don't know if there's a torch listed in the weapons chart here.
So this
just
is
call
an
it a club,
insectoid
man. I
thing,
think-
but it's about the size of a small dog. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it looks sort of lizardy, insecty put together.
Okay.
I'm calling it a rock devil,
Okay.
and it doesn't like you at all.
Well, I don't like it either, Ted.
Let's call it a D4 for being improvised, and you don't have like a club. Yeah, D4.
Okay. Doobie-doo. Does the fire do any additional damage on it?
We're going to roll that into its damage because of your bad posture and inability to swing properly.
Got it. I rolled a 2.
Okay, thank you. You hear it squeal and screech in a sort of a horrible ear-splitting sound, and moments later you are swooped out by Swiver.
It's hideous, man. It's got big, sharp teeth and
Pointy teeth.
pointing claws and
Well, what to do then? We can't be crawling in on our hands and knees.
we might have to. Dude. I don't know how else we're gonna get past the big door unless we're willing to cowboy up and go. The question is do we have anything that will dissuade it from trying to hit us while we go?
Did it seem to not like fire? Like, did it shy away from it?
Did not like it much. No, that's when it's squealing and so on when you hit it.
So maybe we could do like the Indiana Jones thing where you toss a few torches in and keep it at bay a little bit so we can at least get through and stand up and then fight it.
I mean, I do like that, but I'm going to say that torches are like a really, really important resource here.
Yeah.
What if we were to try and lure it away from like the entranceway by throwing like some rations in there or something like that?
Yeah, cool.
Like maybe some dried meat or something.
Let's do that. We each have 3 rations, so let's.
And then let's do this. Let's tie. I don't mind going first again. But why don't we do this? We could tie a rope around my waist so that you can use the rope to get through the tunnel faster. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Rather than trying to go like this, you can literally just hand over hand and drag yourself through.
Sure.
Might be faster. I don't know.
Let's do it.
What do you think, Ted? Would that help or no?
The space available, honestly, I think that it would improve it marginally. I think the part where you're having to squeeze through, you still have to squeeze through. You don't have the angle to really pull yourself because you can't move your elbows properly.
Gotcha.
But once you were to your waist, you'd be able to pull yourself through the rest of the way probably pretty quickly. Sure, I think that's fair.
Right. So let's throw some like primo meat from the rations. Something that'll
get it nice and I'll chew on it for a little bit to make it nice and soft.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll whip it through.
Okay.
And if I hear it like starting to scrabble around in there, that's when I'll make my entrance.
Okay. So you chew up some of your food and spit the delicious salivally pap into your hand.
Make a nice ball.
And throw it in the hole.
Yeah.
And you're just listening, or you're going to actually try and look and see what happens?
Well, I'm going to listen first. And then as soon as I hear some sort of activity, like, thank you for the treats or whatever it might say, then I'm going to go in as fast as I can.
Okay. You hear it splap a few feet away from the door, 10 feet something. You're able to throw it with like baseball. And you do hear some scrabbling sounds, leaves and sticks and so on, and something moving, some scratching on rock, and then silence.
I'm just going to go.
Okay. How are you doing it?
Pretty much the same thing I did last time. Torch held out in front of me, dagger in my teeth, and off I go.
With the rope around your waist, that's the idea.
Yep.
You're okay. Yep. So rock devils apparently don't like your chewed up meat much.
Man, they don't even know what they like.
I do know what they like. They are attracted to the smells of fresh blood and rotting meat.
Oh, well, rotting meat, man. I mean, I'm literally called Rotstone. Like, let me tell you, I don't have great dental hygiene.
Okay. Oh, so I see your tooth decay has made this meat more palatable
for them. Yeah.
I thought that was like your one defunct testicle is what you were referring to there.
I think another initiative check is in order here, Mike. I'm afraid this thing does not appreciate your invasion.
That's fine.
But you're in luck because this time I rolled a 4.
And I'm in luck because this time I rolled a 16.
There we go, baby. All right. So it is not in a position to immediately drop on your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you make a good, what's the phrase for it? With a normal difficulty class dex check, you will zip through without it having the opportunity to catch you lying down.
Got you. And by normal, we're talking...
That's a DC 12.
12. Again, Ted, I rolled a 16 and I got +3, so that's a 19 total.
Okay, you were expecting this exact situation. You came prepared as a squirmy little dwarf, and you are through. You're able to get up on your feet before it attacks you. And what is your AC?
My AC is 14.
All right. I have rolled a 15.
No bueno.
No bueno at all. It does a mere 1 point of damage, but I need a con save.
Oh. Well, I like that less. Okay. My constitution is a 12, so I have a +1 to that. Ooh, I rolled a... Damn, these dice are hard to read in this light. I rolled a 20. I got a 19 on the die and a +1, 20.
All right. It's an exceedingly painful bite. And you can feel that some kind of venom was injected into you, but you appear to be a doughty dwarf who does not pay attention to such mundane things. Well done. And so now you are, so to describe the space, you're in a 10-foot tunnel, 5 feet wide, that at the end of that 10 feet opens to a, I've lost my Miro. There it is. I want to see John drawing. Opens out into a 10 by 10 space. This is within your torchlight. So yeah, if you're doing 5-foot squares, John, that'd probably work. And that, so it's the corridor is the center of the southern wall of the 10 by 10 space. And immediately opposite the corridor, there's another round stone door set into the far wall.
Okay.
So does that mean he's drawing half a square?
Yeah, is that half a square?
That's what I did on my map, yeah.
Okay.
There's not too many of those, don't worry. So you are in the space with the rock devil, which is kind of currently clinging to the side of the wall, having just bit you. And there's a lot of leaves and muck and so on underfoot. Fragments of crude armor, bones, broken weapons, and a single intact goblin skull sitting on top of a heap of muck and rotted clothes and bones.
Okay.
The rope trails from your waist out the gap into the daylight and safety.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to try and maneuver, like, I guess, excuse me, like, my initiative, I won. I went through the hole. Its initiative, it attacked me.
Yes.
Are we continuing that, or does John get to go now?
Actually, I think John should get an action for sure.
Okay. I didn't roll initiative, so I don't know what to do.
We just let him go.
You still get an action. You're just going last.
Okay. I scuttle in. Yeah.
Yep. You can, because Mike's got the rope and he's kind of pulling on it. You can pull in very quickly and easily, no problem. So you're both in the space, and the rock devil is facing off with you, hissing and making clicking and buzzing sounds with its insectoid parts.
Does it seem like there's only one right now?
It does seem like there's only one.
Thank you, baby Jesus. Okay. Okay. So at that point, do we roll initiative again? I assume it doesn't want to make friends.
Well, I think that's how. Let's just go.
It's supposed to just set like 5e. So,
so John should roll then.
The same initiative. Roll, right? You just keep the same initiative.
Let's have John roll.
All right, I have a 12.
Okay, so you guys, it's what, 16, 12, and 4.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, Mike, you kind of haul on the rope. John's in there. He's standing up. You can go.
Okay. I'm going to attack it with my dagger, holding the torch in my other hand.
All right. Is it a natural 20? Oh, how nice.
Look at that, baby.
I love
it. Yeah. Dude, I'm rolling like a hero, man. Usually this die just lets usually it's not my favorite, but it's easier to read in this light. So, but anyway, that will hit AC 23, Ted.
Yeah, you definitely hit.
I don't know. Is there anything like a critical in Shadowdark? I can't actually remember.
Looking.
It's double the. It's again 5e. It's like you just double the damage dice.
Double the damage. But unlike 5e, I don't think you actually, even with finesse weapons, I don't think you add your strength onto damage or your dex onto damage, right? It's just a straight up damage die.
I didn't read it. It looks like it's only to hit, but I could be wrong.
It says you roll your weapon or spell's damage dice plus relevant bonuses. So if we go back up to stats, we see that strength includes fight with a sword. So I'm going to assume you do add your strength bonus to a damage roll.
Okay. What about dex bonus for finesse weapons?
Missile weapons.
So not melee weapons. Okay.
Doesn't. Yeah. No, I don't think so.
All right. So first damage die is a 2. Second damage die is a 1. So I do 3 points of damage to a total.
You did what? 2 before or 3?
I don't remember now, Ted.
Okay.
2. You did 2 before.
And you just did what? 4 now?
3. Additional 3.
Okay. Okay. Great. John.
I guess I will step up and swing at it with my sword.
Okay.
What am I doing? Plus, okay. No, I missed. I rolled a 5 total.
All right. It takes advantage of your stumbling attack to leap and try and bite your arm, and it rolls a 19.
Mm-hmm.
To me?
No, John.
Okay.
2 points, and I need a con save.
Okay.
DC 12.
Failed the con save.
Okay. John, you immediately feel all your muscles lock up, and you just tip over like a felled ox.
Dope.
And Mike, you are now standing all alone with the rock devil.
How injured does it look, Ted?
It doesn't look like a happy rock devil at all.
Okay.
There's some ooze.
Well, it's time to drive it like we stole it, John. I'm going to straddle your fallen body.
Mm-hmm.
I'll teabag you once just for joy, and then I will fight the rock devil.
Okay.
Dwarves don't have that far to go to teabag him anyway.
Nope. It's all good. Okay. And this die, dude. I just got an AC 21.
Excellent. That is a hit.
And I rolled max damage, 4 points. Suck it, rock devil. Suck it.
It does not like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it is going to it is, rather than trying to retreat further into its lair, you guys are blocking its position. So it is going to run for it. It is leaving. So it immediately and very quickly scuttles out of the crack and into the daylight.
Okay.
Do not like that. Okay. Good job. You've driven off the rock devil.
Yeah. You're in bad shape there, homie.
Yeah.
While he is unconscious, first of all, I'm going to check his vitals.
He's actually paralyzed. His eyes can move. He's looking at you, wide-eyed, clenched jaw, just completely paralyzed. You can see little beads of sweat coming off of him because of the tension in his muscles.
I have a feeling that John and I are both like chaotic and not friendly people. However, I'm going to assume like all role-playing parties that we are best friends for like a long time and that I will make sure he's comfortable. I will not loot his belongings for his gold.
So nice.
Yeah, I know.
I spent all my gold, so you're You're
Is
at a
there
loss there.
anything? Is there anything on the floor that I can use to kind of block up that entranceway so the rock devil doesn't come scuttling back when we're not paying attention?
I mean, yeah, there's piles of stuff. You could just sort of shovel it and pack it into the hole or something like that.
All right, I'm going to use my dagger to flip over the goblin skull, make sure there's nothing hiding underneath that. And I'll use that and like whatever else I can get to just kind of jam up that hole.
Okay. Well, as you are doing that, you were able to gather up, as I said, broken parts of armor and hunks of old rotted clothing and bones and things, and you're packing it in, and you disturb and find a small pouch which appears to have coins in it.
Excellent. I shall open the pouch.
It is filled with small silver coins.
Excellent.
There are 300 of them.
Ooh. So what is that, like 30 gold?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. 300 silver coins. Nice. I will tuck those into my belt. We're out of sight from Swiver.
All right.
And kind of like make him comfortable until he deparalyzes.
Okay. So that'll take you a couple of rounds effectively. And then you're, of course you had to set the torch down.
Is there any sconces or anything like that in the room?
No.
Okay.
But having packed the door full of muck to block rock devils, you now can stand up and look around. The room is pretty much as I described it, except now you can get a good look at the second door. On the far wall of the antechamber is another door, also of stone and round, set similarly to the other door, but this one is intact and appears to be in good condition. It is carved deeply with geometric patterns and motifs you recognize as distinctly goblin in origin, but very old. The door was painted. It is now flaking and faded. However, an intact rope and wax seal remains attached to the stone surface. Similar to what you might have seen like in ancient Egypt, sealing the tombs inside pyramids and things.
Gotcha.
Like that. It's a complicated knot packed in melted wax, and it's, there's a seal in it and everything like that. It's sort of going through little carved holes in the door to seal the door.
Gotcha. Well, I'm not going to muck about with that until my best friend Swiver. Swiver?
Okay.
Yeah.
Swiver.
Okay. Is like no longer paralyzed.
Swiver, no swiving. Swiver, no swiving.
Seriously.
Okay. It doesn't last very long. His body processes the toxin actually pretty quickly. It only takes about 4 rounds for muscles to sort of loosen up, and he's able to move around again.
Okay. And because I am a nice dwarf, I will actually show him the pouch of silver coins so that you may partake in the loot.
Jinga, jinga, jinga.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And nothing else of interest in that room?
Not unless you need some muck. Old insect molting casings.
What's on the door on that far end?
The rope and wax seal and carved symbols and geometric motifs.
Is the seal broken?
No, seal is intact.
Yeah. That's the only exit out of here?
Yes.
Okay. Should we break the seal?
Should we check it for traps first?
Yeah. How does that work? Thievery, you're trained. What does that mean?
They're pretty loosey-goosey with it. Go ahead.
Well, the way I've decided to interpret it for this game and this adventure and so on is that, much the way we've been playing OSE in Ardenvool is if you're specific about, I'm looking at this stair tread to see if it is a trap. Anybody can look for something if they're very specific about it. If they're a little more general, thieves have a better chance of spotting the trap, for example. And thieves will be able to disarm traps or work out how the trap works and be able to avoid it.
Okay. I generally look then at the seal using my thief knowledge. Do I detect a trap?
Right. So you look at the sort of little hieroglyphs and symbols that are on the seal itself, and you can see that they all look like little, sort of pictures of dire warnings and reprisals and, you know, skull and crossbones kinds of things. But you traverse, like going around the door and looking at the edges and things, you can't find any evidence of any sort of other mechanism. It's all you can see is the rope with the wax on it. And, you know, you can kind of test the rope and you're not finding, you know, you don't feel like any clicking or something, you know, when you pull on it or anything like that.
Okay.
Does it look like the seal has to be undone in order to open the door?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's break it.
Are there any hair thin wires embedded in the rope? I know you said, or in the wax. Do you want to gently melt the wax, John, with our torch and see what might be underneath it?
Sure.
Okay. I will go ahead and just do that, Ted. Holding the rope, the torch well away from like the ropes and not burning them. I'm just going to try and make the wax soft and get it to melt a little bit, and then maybe very carefully use my dagger to take the wax seal off.
It's a good idea. It works extremely well. Even though it's very old and brittle wax, you were able to sort of soften it, and the rope, the wax sort of falls away. The rope is still knotted, but you find that there's nothing hidden inside the wax, and the seal seems to have simply been a wax seal like you'd put on a letter.
Okay. All right. We're going to cut it or just untie it? What do you think?
What's the rope attached to?
It goes through holes in the door.
Okay.
That would basically, you think it would prevent it from rolling.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So let's just cut it. I cut it with my sword.
You cut it, and it sort of is easily pulled out of the holes, and it just sort of feeds out. And there's the door. It's right in front of you.
I open the door.
Ready. Okay.
Stand off to one side.
What's that?
I stand off to one side.
It rolls easily to the side, the way the other one should have. And as you roll it, there is a sort of a groaning sound of stale and sort of humid, dungeony underground air that kind of rushes out of the exposed tunnel. And the light of your torch just sort of seems to be drunk up by the darkness beyond. Past the door, the inner passage is close and dark. It is obvious that no one has trod here in centuries, for there's dust, thick dust and cobwebs upon the floor and walls. The air is heavy and chilled, and except for the small disturbance of your entrance, nothing moves, and as your eyes grow accustomed to the dim light, there is a palpable sense of weight and time hanging over you. The stones of the tunnel are dusty, but otherwise intact, and the shadows of your torch flicker and cast long... your torch flickers and casts long shadows into the corridor ahead as it descends into the darkness. It's 5 foot wide, and you can see that it goes as far as the reach of your torchlight, going down somewhat steeply. Not so steeply that you need to like climb down, but about in that 30 feet, it appears to be going down a good 15 feet. Halfway along, you can see the floor appears wet.
Is there any evidence of moisture coming from the ceiling?
Not except for that wet spot. No, everything else seems to be dry.
Right, but so like above the wet spot, there's no like dripping.
It seems like it's coming out of the wall.
Okay, gotcha. All right, there. We don't have 10-foot poles, right? You don't have a 10-foot pole. I don't have a 10-foot pole.
Nope. But this is like a slope, though, not enough stairs, right?
Correct. And it's got like little grooves cut into the stone. You know how they'll sometimes do like on sidewalks and stuff to make it so it's not so slick.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I step forward onto the slope.
Okay. As you step forward and start moving down, your torchlight does extend into. You can actually see that at that 30 foot at the end of your torchlight there's a open space down there. So you're able to see the full length of the hallway, and right in the middle is very wet and slick. And as you get a little bit closer, your torchlight reflects back slightly green at you.
Reflects back green?
The slick area is green.
Oh, okay. All right. So there's like a... Okay. So there's wetness on the ground, basically, is what you're saying?
Well, when you first shined your light in,
Yeah.
it looked as if the floor was wet. As you get closer, you now see that it's wet and slick and green.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's telegraphing right there. Okay, I'm gonna use my grappling hook on my rope. I'm gonna very gently kind of like throw it down the hallway into the pool of goo, and then drag it back up the hallway towards us.
Okay. Interesting. So you bring the grappling hook back to you, and the tines. You've smeared a lot of whatever it is along the floor.
And it's viscous. It's like viscous, right? It's thick.
It's somewhat thick. Yeah. The muck that's attached to your tines kind of basically looks like the green moss you get on like rocks and streams and stuff. You step on them and you just slip and fall on your ass.
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Okay. No damage or pitting to the tines of the grappling hook?
No.
No tripwires that I pulled up or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Do we hear anything coming from the open space beyond?
Silence.
Okay. I will step very carefully onto that slick surface.
Okay. You're stepping carefully onto the slick surface. Then you definitely feel that your footing is a little bit precarious, but because you're being careful and you're kind of expecting it, you're able to carefully trod across it without falling or anything like that.
I'll keep my one hand on a wall to steady myself.
As you are descending, you do feel sort of a sudden cold air just move suddenly through, like much cold, like it drops precipitously, very briefly, it just gets very cold all of a sudden, and then it goes away again.
Okay. Did it come from a direction and head towards a direction? Was it a wind or just a drop in temperature?
Just a sudden drop in temperature.
Okay. All right. I'll choose to ignore that and continue forward.
Okay.
When I'm following behind him with the torch, do I also feel that cold spot?
You felt it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm actually going to be trying to avoid the muck, Ted. I'm going to be trying to walk around it.
Okay. It is. Yeah. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
Sorry. This is actually a good place to take our first break, if that's cool. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, man. We can take a break. Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
One room down. Doing great. Okay.
Into combat.
We will be right back. Okay, we are back.
Bladder's empty, beer's full. Are you guys ready? You are heading down the passage. So Mike, you are trying to avoid the green.
I am.
Which is possible to do. You saw how treacherous the footing was for John, but you're able to kind of scoot past it.
Cool.
By being aware of it. Okay, so as you approach the bottom of the tunnel, your light begins to fill a square chamber, 15 feet by 15 feet. You're coming in from the center of the south wall, and your light illuminates 3 deeply shadowed arched openings leading into tunnels so there's 4 exits out of this at the cardinal points, center of each wall. The ceiling here is much higher, with elaborate groin vaulting and fine stone carving and decorative details. The archways to the northwest and east are similarly adorned with carved refinements. Above each of the archways is a carved inscription written in an archaic script. And you can see the tunnel to your left is it curves in a wide arc. How do I describe it? Like sort of to the west and north at a round curvature. It's about 10 feet wide. And the same curvature off to the east, the one off to the left is a ramp going up at a fairly gentle pace. And off to the right, you can see after about 15 feet or so, it's a set of stairs. And straight ahead of you, your light just catches the end of that tunnel. It goes 15 more feet 10 feet wide, and it's rounded at the end, and you can see a ladder. That makes sense?
Ladder down or ladder up?
Ladder up.
Interesting. Ladder up. Okay.
Stairs up, ramp up, ladder up. You are not yet in the room. I'll say you're just at the bottom of the ramp. You're just seeing to the edge of your torchlight. The torch
where's the green pool?
Well, John made that ramp too small. It's actually 30 feet long, but it's okay. It's right in the center of that 30-foot corridor.
Somewhere in the middle there. Okay.
Yeah. You are not right on top of the green pool. Don't worry.
Any drafts in the room, Ted?
No, the air here is very still. The floor stones are set into a pattern of interlocking shapes, but under the dust, you can't tell any more detail of that.
Okay.
And so the torchlight, you're just at the edge of the room there. Yeah, right there where your pointer was. And so you can just kind of see into the ramp and just kind of see towards the stairs, and you can just make out the ladder at the end of your torchlight.
Okay. And you said the walls were smooth, right? Smooth dressed stone?
Well-dressed stone, undecorated, other than the decorative molding sort of around the arches and a rather fancy groin-vaulted ceiling.
And no finger grips between the stones?
Not really, no.
Okay. All right. I want to do my my grappling hook trick again and throw my grappling hook into the middle of the room. And then drag it back to me.
Okay. You don't catch any wires or anything like that. You do disturb the dust, which kicks up, and you can see that the stone floor. The patterns you saw, you can see once you've disturbed the dust that they are different colors of stone to create a mosaic kind of pattern, but they're large blocks in sort of interlocking star shapes.
All right. I'm going to do an Indiana Jones type thing, and I'm going to take the one of my iron spikes, and I'm going to tap as many different colored stones as I can in front of the doorway without going into the room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The floor doesn't seem to shift or move. Everything seems to be quite solid, regardless of the color of stone.
Okay. All right, John, what do you want to do? You want to go in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Which which one has the ladder? Did you say it was the one to the east?
The one to the north has the ladder.
Okay, that seems weird. And we can't read the carvings above the door. You said archaic language. I don't speak archaic languages.
Do any of you speak Goblin?
I speak Dwarf, Common, and Bad Dwarf.
And Bad Dwarf.
Yeah.
It'll be more fun if I just tell you what they say, even though they would technically be in Goblin. So the one to the west says, the long path of gradually achieved wisdom.
Boring.
The one to the east says, the stairs of accelerated ascension. And the one to the north says, the ladder of rapid illumination.
Well, I can tell you, John, that the ladder of rapid ascension sounds like it's like a sure way to die.
Yeah, I'm sure the safe one is the slow and steady one, right? Or safest.
Yeah. Let's go check that one out first, Ted, because we're not stupid.
Okay. So as I said, it's 10 foot wide. The walls are straight up and down to a height about 8 feet, and then you have a barrel vault. And it just sort of curves up and off to your right as it goes up. Again, the floor is grooved like the one you just came down. And you see that the dust is thick here as well.
Is it actually 10 foot wide or is it 5 foot wide?
It's 10 feet wide. And there is the walls are smooth, except at the base of the walls where the wall meets the floor. And then there's a sort of a bumped out decorative
baseboard,
essentially a baseboard, but it's carved stone.
Gotcha.
That comes out so that the actual walking space is somewhat less than 10 feet wide. And then there's, like as I said, a barrel vaulted ceiling, and that is all you can see from here.
Okay. We're gonna turn on our ninja powers and scoot down that hallway very quietly.
So the ramp does go up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Probably actually it's about as steep as the one you just came down. I'd have to actually draw out the elevations to work it out exactly, but yeah, it's somewhat steep. So you are proceeding up. How do you want to go up? What are you doing as you go up?
Is it
Who's
steep
first?
enough
And who's got the light, et cetera, et cetera?
Oh, gotcha. Well, it's wide enough for both of us to go side by side, right?
Okay. Yeah, it is.
And I still have my torch, so I have the light.
Okay. What else are you doing?
Is it so steep that we are unsure of our footing?
No, because it has the grooved tread.
Okay.
Your footing's fine.
How about while I'm holding the light, John, do you want to be like kind of like on the lookout for traps?
Sure. That's fine.
Okay. Maybe he looks low and I look high, Ted.
Okay. All right. So about a third of the way up, Mike, you're able to see, because of your torch, there's a sort of, we'll call it an anomaly of lighting. It catches your eye. And what you find is that set just slightly kind of into the stone, but slightly at an angle so that you wouldn't necessarily notice it right away, there is a little bit of a niche, about maybe 8 inches square, but utterly black. No light penetrates it, even when you hold your torch right up to it. Total darkness inside.
Okay.
I think our torch would have gone out, by the way.
It goes out in 15 minutes.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, we lit it at 9:30 p.m., so it goes out at 10:30, and it's now 10:15. So,
Okay.
Gotcha. And how high is this niche?
Sort of about 5 feet off the ground.
So like head height or shoulder height?
Yeah, roughly, yeah, shoulder height.
Is this whole area? It was built for goblins, right? Goblin-sized people.
Great point. It's goblin shoulder height. I should make a note of that. That is solid thinking, Mike. Well done.
The point of my dagger in there.
Yeah.
I stick the point of my dagger in the blackness.
Just making a note there. You don't encounter any resistance. It seems you kind of poke it in to the depth of the blade, I assume, and you're kind of wiggling it around, and you don't feel anything.
I touch the tip of my blade after I pull it out.
It is seemingly unaffected by the darkness.
I put my hand in the darkness.
Oh my God.
Okay. You don't feel anything other than the edges of the niche, but you also don't feel the back of it.
Okay. I go up to my shoulder.
Okay. At the point in which your arm is fully extended in there, you are able to reach, well, probably a little bit before that because of the length of a goblin arm. You find a lever.
I pull the lever.
It's okay. You pull the lever. You hear a distinct clonking sound and nothing else.
I whip my arm out.
Yep. You still have an arm. It does not appear different or withered or dead or anything.
And you said it's on the western wall or the eastern wall of this thing?
This is on the eastern wall.
And do I hear the
about
clonking
a third of the way up the ramp?
From beyond the eastern wall?
Say that again?
Do I hear the clonking from beyond the eastern wall, like to the east?
Kind of actually just, yes, essentially from beyond the eastern wall, a bit ahead of you.
Okay. I pull the lever again. Does anything happen?
You hear the same clonk.
Okay. I pull it one more time just to have it in its active function.
Okay. You pull it again and you hear yet another clonk.
Right.
And it stops.
Okay. I want it to be like in the position it was not in whenever I approached it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It is now not in the position it was when you approached it.
Right.
Also, he likes to do things in threes.
Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah,
okay.
Swarthy likes the number 3.
All right.
It's magic
Let's
number.
continue on then, right?
Yeah.
You're going to keep moving?
Yep.
Okay, you did hear a distinct clonking in the wall.
I'm assuming they just opened the treasure trove for us.
That would be lovely. All right. You so you go another 10 feet or so, and John is still going low and Mike's still going high.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a second.
So John,
hold on. I stop where the hole is. I press that wall. Like
you
I
press the wall.
Yeah, like I want to know like if maybe it was a catch for a secret door. So I'll
Okay, so you stop, you go back, you're like, okay, hold on. Start poking and pressing.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones pushing on the column in Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
And nothing slides or opens.
Okay, then continue.
Okay. You get about 10 feet, and since you're watching the ground, you do see in the dust the faintest sort of depression, we'll say, in the dust as a line that extends all the way across the floor. Right, so there's an even layer of dust on the ground, and just there's this little dip in it right on this line.
Wonder if your clonking lever shifted something to create like that groove in the dust.
Why don't you stay there and watch it?
What's that?
Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, like, do you want me to go back and you stay here, watch the seam? I'll pull the lever, see if anything happens.
Well, we'd have to light another torch, which is fine since this one's almost over.
Yeah, you still got 11 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have like? Is there? No, there isn't. Okay. All right. So I'll light one torch then.
Okay.
And then I
so
go
you
back.
lit another torch.
I go back to the thing. I pull the lever and I see if Raga
Okay.
sees anything
So
change.
John is pulling the lever, putting it in its original position.
Yeah.
And Mike is watching the line on the floor. Okay. So you do see, when you hear the clonk, Mike, you do see the faintest shiver of the dust at that point.
Interesting.
Okay.
I would assume that
All
the
the way
trap
across.
was set, you know what I mean? And that me moving the lever initially probably unset it. Like I would think that moving the lever would free us from danger. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah, probably. I'm wondering if it's a trap so much as maybe it is actually like a locking mechanism for some sort of secret passage or a door. Ted, I'm going to blow gently on the line of dust and see if I can see like a seam or whatever that opened or.
Yep. You do see a seam. That section of floor appears to be independent of the other sections of floor that you're standing on.
Okay.
It is an anomaly in the way the stones are lined up. Yes.
Is there a seam on like maybe 10 feet ahead or something like that I can see?
You can just make it out in the raking light of your torch. You can see another line 10 feet ahead.
Okay. I'm going to do my trick with the grappling hook and slam it down fairly hard in the middle of the floor there.
Okay. So the lever is in the original position.
Right now it is, yeah.
Okay. All right. There is a rumbling sound that immediately begins, and the ceiling just ahead of you opens up, and a huge boulder falls down, hits the little runners along the side of the of the tunnel, and starts to roll towards you. And everyone should, I think, should run away. Because there is a huge boulder coming at you, entirely filling the tunnel.
Okay. What's the process here, Tettles? What do we do? Do we roll initiative or do we just say we run away?
You make a dex check to successfully run away without being crushed by the boulder.
Okay, we kind of knew there was a trap, so can I advocate for us for getting like some sort of benefit here?
The only person who's going to get a benefit is John, who's further away than you are. You're down on the floor looking at the little crevice and hitting it with a grappling hook, and suddenly a 500-ton boulder is right above your head. So
I rolled an 8.
I'm afraid you have been struck by boulder. John?
I rolled a 16 total.
You have escaped the boulder.
I'm going to start making another character.
Yeah, it's not going to be. Oh, Mike, you are completely 9 points of damage.
Oh,
that crush you?
That will be like a dead guy. That's dead guy.
Yeah. You are smeared under the boulder, much to John's dismay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, give me 2 seconds here, and I will make another character.
And your torch goes out too.
And my torch goes out.
Yay.
Got one, everybody.
All right. Let's see here. Stat rolls. Oh, that's it's pretty awful. No clear recommendations because everything is like -2 or lower.
Oh.
I'm calling a mulligan on that, Ted.
Okay, fine. I can afford to be generous.
We'll take a quick break just to get the character set up, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Mike has a new character.
So we're going to say that, Mike, you're playing the weird, annoying younger brother that the other two guys tried to ditch back in town.
Yeah.
And you followed him all the way here. Guys, can I come? I want to play too.
Absolutely. That's
so you're right behind. You're right behind John. You now have to deal with the grief of seeing your brother smeared under a boulder and just his little ruby slippers sticking out of the end.
I didn't like him that much anyway. He had been banished. He was kind of a dick.
He was a dick.
All right.
Look how he treated his little brother. But you did lose the 300.
I am also playing a dwarf. Again, this is going to be Hogarth Rotstone, who is a priest of Shun the Vile.
Oh my God. Okay.
Off we go.
So your 300 silver coins are crushed under that boulder, by the way.
We can really crush coins. We can get them back.
Well, no, because John has discovered that the boulder has rolled all the way to the bottom of the tunnel and completely blocks the opening. It's like a cork now in the bottom of the tunnel hallway.
Okay. I have a feeling that I hear footsteps coming up from the south, and I wait for my new companion to arrive.
That's right. Okay.
Hey, buddy. Sorry, your brother's paced, but I'm sure your god's with you. So you want to go east?
Yeah, let's do that. We could try that out.
All right. So these were labeled the Stairs of Accelerated Ascension. In the curved tunnel, similar to the one there, but in the other direction. After about 15 feet, it starts as a staircase. Again, it's about 10 feet wide, 8-foot straight ceilings, barrel vault above that, so that at the center of the hallway, it's 10 feet high. And this set also has the same kind of baseboard trim running up the sides, and the stairs are heavy stone stairs. And it's very dark in this hallway. Your torch does not illuminate the top of the stairs from where you are standing.
Okay.
What are you doing? You guys just have John's torch right now, or do you also have a torch? I guess Mike must have one as well, actually.
So,
otherwise, you couldn't have gotten this far.
I will have my light spell going, though, Ted.
Oh, okay.
As a priest, I have 2 spells. I have Cure Wounds, and I have Light.
Okay.
John, you're down hit points, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can just roll to get him back his hit points, too. So I make a DC 11 check.
Yes.
I got a 14. And so John will get a D6 equal to 1 plus half my level. So I think I just roll a D6.
Cure Wounds.
Yep. And you get 6 hit points back, John, which obviously is way more than you need.
Yep. Thank you.
And then, Ted, I will roll a DC 11 check for my light spell.
Okay.
Got a 14 again.
Okay.
And so that lasts an hour as well. So it's basically the same as a torch.
Okay.
And
great.
I will just put it on my shield.
All right. Sounds good. Your glowing shield illuminates. So, John, where you have those stairs ending is actually where they start.
Okay.
So you guys, I'll just say right now you're at the arched opening, and you can tell me how you want to proceed.
I move
ahead,
carefully
John.
up.
Yep.
Say what?
I move carefully up.
All right. The flat floor as you approach the stairs does not explode or kill you in any way. and you are standing at the bottom of the stairs looking up, and you can just see now at the extent of your light spell or your torch, the tunnel kind of continues to curve around. And so I don't know if you could see my cursor, John, but like the stairs stop right about there.
I don't see your cursor.
I don't see your cursor either, Ted. There it is. There it is.
So right about there.
That's where they end.
That's where they end. So the thing keeps curving past that. It doesn't go straight. It's curved.
Oh.
It's like a arc.
Okay. This.
Yep, you got it. Perfect. Good enough for mapping in the dungeon. You got it. Okay. So what are you doing?
Moving up the stairs.
Yeah.
Okay. And doing the high-low thing again?
Sure.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first, Sean?
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Sure.
I'll go first, Ted.
Okay. Let's see here. Reading the wrong entry. Okay, so the stairs look like normal stairs. You're moving up, and about 3 or 4 stairs in, you find that again in the dust you see the slightest depression in the dust, John.
Okay.
And Mike's about to step on it, and you stop him because he's looking up and you're looking down. And you see there's an entire stair that has dust that doesn't sit quite like the others.
There was no niches on the way up here.
Not on the in the stairs area. If there was one before that, you weren't looking and you missed it.
Oh, but we were aware that it's there.
No, I'm saying if there was one, you weren't looking for it and you didn't see it.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Let's test this one too. Mike, I'll do it this time.
I'm going to move a little farther down the stairway.
Okay. I tap hard on that stair.
Okay. You tap hard on it, and you can feel that it is not quite seated the way the other stairs are, but nothing happens at this point.
I look on the walls on either side of the stairway. Like, are there holes in the wall or anything like that?
You don't see any holes here. No.
Ceiling?
Nope.
No. Okay. Does I try to pry? Were the stairs made out of stone?
Yes, they're stone stairs.
Okay. I try to move that stair. Does it look like it can be moved?
As a matter of fact, so yeah, what do you mean that you're trying to like lift the stair or something?
Yeah, lift it or just shunt it to the side or something like that, like pull it off.
It doesn't slide side to side, but when you pressed it, you felt it kind of move a little bit, but you didn't. You pressed it, it didn't do enough to do anything, apparently.
Yeah.
But when you're like lifting it, you can feel that the whole, not just the tread, but also the riser shift a little bit in the walls. And you look off to the sides and you can see that there's like you can see that rather than just being flush up against it, they appear to go into it slightly.
Gotcha. I don't know what that means.
That's just the way it is sometimes.
let's just step over the step and keep going.
Yeah, let's just avoid it.
Yeah. Okay.
That works extremely well, and you achieve the top of the stairs. You do see above you at the top of the stairs there is some sort of hatch in the vaulted ceiling, and it looks like a section that is separate from the vaulting. And that section is full of holes.
That'll do it.
You're still on the stairs at this point, and you see that.
Okay. Can we mark that step just in case we're like running? In all likelihood, we'll be running backwards here in terror, and like so that we can remember that step.
Yes, I think I'll say that your manipulation of it has cleared off enough dust that it stands out against the rest.
Cool.
which are otherwise just show your footprints.
Right on. So does this stairway end and open up into a room, or is it a door or something?
So at the top of the stairs, you can see it. There's an intersection here. The 10-foot wide corridor you're in. Directly across from you, you can see the top of the ramp you'd been on. To your left, you can see a corridor heading south there, about 15 feet, in the center of which is a hole with just the tippy tip of a ladder sticking out of it. And to your right is a 10-foot wide corridor leading about 20 feet down. So you're at a T intersection. All the hallways are 10 feet wide.
Yeah.
And there's a nice bit of groin vaulting directly in the center there as the 4 barrel vaults meet.
Are we on like another level? Should we be moving to a different part on Miro?
No, you don't need to move to a different part. It's fine. But you are on another level now. You're 15 or 20 feet above where you were at the lower part of the stairs.
Gotcha.
Yep, you got it, John. There you go.
Oh, so that means we might be able to come up behind the boulder then and get the gold or get the silver.
You might, yeah.
Okay.
So, John, in that center part, going straight up and down south, just in the center there, like, because you got the scale a little bit wrong. Basically, what it looked like is you've got two hallways that meet up like this with a ladder between them. That's how you would interpret what you're looking at there.
Okay. Wait, okay. Whatever.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right. So again, in this area, you do not see any movement. It is quiet still. And there's no footprints or anything, and dust is thick on the floor, cobwebs on the wall, and off to your right, 20 feet down, you can see a curtain hanging across the corridor.
Okay. I move up to the curtain and look behind it.
Okay. It is a heavy curtain blocking your light from extending past it at all. It's thick velvet, heavy with dust and age, and covered in cobwebs like many other areas of the shrine. So what are you doing to the curtain?
I pull it apart and look through it.
Okay. So you like hold your torch in there, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Just beyond that, you can see it goes about 10 feet and opens into a larger space. And in that 10 feet on either side, there's some niches in the wall, larger ones, like full length of the floor. It's to ceiling. And you can see inside those niches, metal glinting.
Like spearheads or gold?
Something shiny.
Okay.
And lots of it.
Can I take a quick jaunt
so he
down
doesn't
that?
have a good view.
Can I take that quick jaunt down that other hallway, Ted, and just see if I can find that sack of silver?
Yes. John, are you staying there at the curtain or doing something? Or are you waiting to do anything else?
I'll just wait till.
You'll just wait. Okay. So, Mike, I'm just going to roll just to see if the coins are trapped under the boulder or free. Do you like odds or evens?
I like evens, man. I'm odd enough.
All right, I rolled a 4. You do find the pouch covered in blood.
Yeah, that's fine.
You find your brother's broken, flattened bones, guts squirted, but you get his money.
Okay, cool. I take a moment to teabag him gently and then move back up the corridor.
It's the love of a dwarf for his kin.
Yeah.
All right. So where are these niches?
Just on either side of the curtain, sort of round niches about 5 feet deep.
Okay.
And you can see metal glinting in there. But you just peeked to the curtain. You didn't really open it. Yeah, like that, John.
I step through.
Okay. The moment you step past the curtain, there's a sudden flurry of movement. as all the bits of metal, which quickly reveal themselves to be gears and pipes and things like that, magically fly off the walls and assemble into Armansquagulat. You face the Armansquagulat.
All right.
And it is the strangest thing you've ever seen. So it looks like two goblins, one standing on the other goblin's shoulders, but it's just one robot.
Yeah,
But each goblin holds a shield and a sword. And the swords appear to be made of silver. And the goblins' faces they're fierce and exaggerated features, right? Big funky horns and things like that. But they're made to look as if they're wearing armor, in the sort of like rough barbarian kind of armor, like, I mean, think of something you might see in the original Conan movie. And they seem to be at first glance sort of covered in gold and jewels, and they've got these big shields with fists on them and these silver swords, and they assemble very rapidly right before your eyes, clang their swords against their shields. And because you have crossed past the line of the curtain, they are going to defend against your intrusion and attack.
But it's just it's a single thing, though, right?
It's one thing. Yes.
Gotcha. Reminds me of that Guardian thing in Labyrinth, the Goblin City, where they got a little. He's like
not dissimilar, I think. Probably, yeah. It's a good analogy. Yeah.
Goblin Voltron.
Yeah.
It's more like Goblin. Yeah, it's a combination of Goblin Voltron and that. Absolutely. Yeah. So, you are in melee with Armansquagulat, and Mike is not.
What was the inscription? What was the inscription on the? Oh, it doesn't matter. Never mind. Yeah, continue. Go ahead.
Okay. So, Armansquagulat wants to roll initiative. And I rolled a 19. You can roll too, Mike. I think you should.
I got a 13.
Okay.
I got I don't have the super dex anymore. I got a 16.
Okay. All right. So, Armansquagulat has assembled. He is armored. He is coming for you, sir. And he gets 2 attacks with those 2 swords. And what's your armor class, John?
14.
Okay, that one misses. And that one misses. You are extremely lucky, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we just got to kill it in one round, John, and we're fine.
Yeah. Defeat the Armansquagulat.
Okay.
Is it me next or who's next?
I believe John is next, yeah.
Is there anything in the niches anymore that I can see?
There's still some additional parts.
I don't see any writing or any obvious tools or anything like that.
In the niches? No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I'll attack this guy. I think I missed. I rolled a 9.
Total. That is a miss.
Okay. Shall I charge into the fray?
You should.
How about the? Ooh, I rolled a 19 plus 4, AC 23.
Okay.
And I'm assuming, I do not think you add your strength or your dex to damage in this game. I just don't think you do.
Don't think so.
So I will say go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'll tell you in a minute.
So then I hit for 3 points of damage.
Okay. When you step in, Mike, the top half of the mecha, they sort of each turn a little bit. So one half is facing John and one half is facing Mike.
Oh, okay.
And they each have a shield and a sword facing you. They still move as one unit, but they now are fighting as 2 separate halves, rotating on the center.
Interesting.
Where you now notice that after they've moved, you can see that basically where it's like on a human, its belly button would be, but it's on top of one guy's head and underneath the feet of the other, or kind of between his knees, I guess, because he's like standing on it. There's a big glowing red crystal right in the center there.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hit that, John. Hit that crystal.
Okay.
All right. So Armansquagulat attacking John, misses. Attacking Mike, misses. Oh, man. Okay. Fine.
I attempt to hit the crystal. I don't know what that means for rolling.
How much higher AC?
Okay. I rolled a 17 total.
That does not hit the crystal.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to continue to bash my sword against my shield and try and draw its attention.
Yep.
So maybe that gives Swiver a better chance of like hitting that crystal, and I will just attack it normally.
Mhm.
And I'm going to hit AC 20
That's a hit.
for max damage 8.
Nicely done. Okay.
Maybe I should have attacked the crystal, John. Shit.
You
Yeah,
can
you
see it start to squirt oil and steam out of some of its seams.
Okay.
Okay, so against John, what's your AC again?
14. We
Okay,
all have
that is
14s.
That's a hit. And then against Mike, that's a miss. So John will take 5 points of damage.
I am out. I don't know if I'm dead though.
Well, we use the
In this
Good.
game, I think you have your Constitution bonus or something like that. And
yeah. I just had it here. Hold on.
that timer is 1d4 plus con modifier in rounds.
Okay. So is
That
secret?
sounds right.
What's that?
Is it secret or you know, like does Ted rule that?
Oh, I don't. That's up to Ted. I think that's just how we want it.
Hold on. I'm just going to look at the quick reference thing here on dying. 1d4 con. No, I don't see why that should be secret. You should roll your d4, John.
I rolled a 4. I have so 6 total. So 6 what?
All right.
6 rounds.
rounds
Okay.
before in which Mike will have to stabilize you.
Okay.
Okay, so it clonks you on the head with its silver sword and drops you. Mike?
Well, now I'm going to ask a question real quick. Do I have to stabilize him first, or can I just hit him with a cure spell and get him up?
Great question.
Roll a number of
And
d6s equal to 1 plus half your level.
I would
Target gains that many hit points. I don't see anything about having him be like unconscious.
you should be able to cast it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to sidle over to him, Ted, and using my shield as cover, I'm going to try and cast Cure Wounds on him. I got a nat 20, dude, which definitely does something. Look.
Yeah.
dice
It
is my
means
hero.
you double one of the spell's numerical effects.
I'm going to roll 2d6 instead then for heal.
Yep.
John, you get back 7 hit points.
Sweet. Thank you.
Okay. Well done, Mike. Very
That's
nice.
around.
Okay, so Armansquagulat is not finished with you. And we miss John. And we hit Mike for sure. For 5 points of damage.
Ouch. I'm still up. I have 2 hit points left.
Okay. All right. John,
All right. Attack.
punish this foolish robot for its
Come on, John.
temerity.
Clutch your kick, baby.
I miss it.
You can hear the little mechanical giggle behind the mask of one of the goblin bodies.
Okay.
Mike?
I am going to cure wounds on myself. I just barely made that check. I got a 12, but I heal myself for 6 points. So
Okay.
I'm back up to 7.
Okay. Well, I'll take that away soon enough. Let's see. Here we go. Joe, I miss John. And I actually miss Mike as well. Okay.
Team on.
I miss
Go,
again.
John, go.
I miss.
This is getting tedious. All right. Come on, Mike.
All right, dude. I miss.
A duel of the centuries as the steel and silver clanging. The
Come on,
shield
it's got to be running out of
splintering.
batteries at this point.
No. Okay, we hit John. Ooh, 6 points.
All right. Out again.
Okay.
Mike.
I
I gotta hit Mike.
have
Miss Mike.
3 rounds to
Okay.
live.
All right, 3 rounds to live.
Yep.
I am going to hit it, or possibly hit it. I rolled a 15
Yeah, that hits.
plus 4, 19, and max damage again, so 8 points.
Ooh. It is definitely leaking a lot of oil and steam, and you can hear grinding gears.
Do you know what really grinds my gears?
And it misses Mike.
Both attacks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make my death save thing. What is that again? I got a
just a D20, I think.
natural 20. Is the only thing that saves me? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if you hit a 20, you rise with 1 hit point.
Nothing.
Okay.
2 more rounds to live.
Okay.
Fucking A, Ted. This dice is like a beast. I hit AC 23 for 5 points.
Oh my God. You have broken the Armansquagulat.
Hey.
It you reach in and get a lucky hit on some critical system, and it lurches to a stop. You hear some springs boing out the back, and a couple arms fall off, and it just grinds to a halt.
Nice.
Yay.
I'm gonna hit John with a cure spell. Oh, I fucked up my check. No. Yeah, I fail my cure wounds check. So now I have to try and stabilize them the normal way.
DC 15 int check.
Yeah. That means I lose that spell until I think the next day.
Got
Yep.
And I rolled a 2 on the dice for stabilizing, and I have a 1 penalty for my intelligence. So no.
All right, I'm going for the natural 20. I fail it. I will bring up a new character. This is a good time to take our second break. So let's take our second break, and I'll get up a new character as well. We will be right back. Okay, we are back.
Okay. So the corpse of John's character, I believe, lies before you next to the destroyed Armansquagulat, and the recently arrived cleric of Vile or whatever. What was
Shun the Vile?
Shun the Vile,
Mm-hmm.
standing alone as his light spell glows about him, wondering what to do next when the tippy tap of little feet behind him
We
reveals
have Bram Muddock, a halfling wizard.
Nice.
Do I still have to
Wow.
can I cast all 3 of these spells, or do I have to
Yes.
Okay, got it. I
I
have Alarm,
John,
Charm
how
Person,
much
and Magic
how much
Missile.
money did your character have on it?
19.
Done. Writing that down. Your character comes in, and I'm looting the body of my previous adventuring compatriot.
All right. I will say that the halfling has no trouble following the footsteps from before, and that means that they are able to easily avoid the mysterious stare that you found. And so you have the bejesus scared out of you, cleric, by a halfling appearing out of the darkness next to you. What do you want to do?
I say, "Hi, friend. We've known each other for a very long time. Let's adventure together, shall we?"
All right. Short folk unite.
All right. Okay, so just beyond those 2 niches there, the room.
Can I pop that crystal out of the Mecha Godzilla thing?
Armansquagulat. So when the mecha fell into pieces, the crystal breaks.
Okay.
However, it also drops its swords and shields,
Ooh.
which were not integrated into the body, but it was actually holding.
Are they like fine quality?
The swords are silver bladed.
Silver, like real silver, like soft and bendy and not really useful, or
Like the kind of silver that, affects certain kinds of monsters and
okay.
spirits and things like that.
I take a silver. I actually put both silver longswords. I sheath my longsword and I take both silver longswords. I put one across my back, and I'm using one.
They're actually short swords, but
okay.
You can take them.
Great. Then I just sling them across my back and keep my longsword out.
Okay. Right. So just beyond that space where you're at, the corridor opens up into a room.
Is that Elvis? Is that Elvis? That means
he's really smart.
Was it?
Sorry. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I apologize. He's
like,
loving life. Yeah.
He's got it going on, man. He's living it. All right.
He's
So with a mere step forward, you can illuminate the room.
Okay.
It's a little bit complicated. Okay. So it is a 10, 20, 35-foot room, centered, 35 foot wide, centered on the corridor you are in. And it is 15 feet deep. So if you go out
Yeah, I'm just going to draw some lines here. 15.
Yeah, good enough. Okay. So there you go. That's good. Now don't close the top part because you're going to make another 10 by 25 foot square that's centered on that line of the north wall. So what you're looking at is a room with a plinth that is set halfway into the back wall.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. So the walls, so you are now in the Shrine of Just Reception.
Oh.
The walls of the shrine are deeply carved with depictions of many goblins visiting the room. And you can tell it's the room because directly ahead of you is a giant set of scales, easily 10 or 15 feet tall. And these scales are depicted in the carvings. The walls are covered in these reliefs from floor to ceiling all around, while the vaulted ceiling is painted in fading geometric patterns similar to those you've seen in previous chambers. The reliefs show all manner of goblins, rich, poor, warrior, wizard, farmer, and tradesman, all entering the shrine and carrying offerings. There are more decorations around the front edge of that central plinth, showing the scales with goblins putting their offerings into the scale pan on the right. In the relief, one goblin, a rich goblin, is seen placing a large jewel in the empty pan, the farmer a chicken, the shoemaker some leather and his tools, and the warrior his sword. Set upon a short plinth, there is an enormous set of scales in this room. They are bronze, green and crusty with age and neglect. The bronze is cast with reliefs of goblins doing acts of great renown in battle, as well as singing, drinking, and dancing, all considered to be the activities of a good goblin warrior, regardless of gender. The left pan contains, as it does in the scales depicted in the reliefs, a single dragon horn, about 3 feet long, recurved and ridged, glossy black, and evidently sharp. The stump end still bears traces of blood and bone, still visible even after all these long years. And the scales are set like this, with the dragon horn in this one. And so you got, your big like arm, right, that would swing freely and the scales go up and down, that kind of a scale. And central column, and it's set up on that plinth, and the pans are, I don't know, about 4 feet across or so. And that is the room that you see.
And no other entrances or exits, right?
No other entrances or exits.
And we haven't seen any other branching corridors.
Correct.
Anywhere else.
Correct.
So I guess my supposition, John, is if we can balance the scales, something will open.
Yeah.
Are there any like heavy objects around Ted? Are there like weights or like anything like that?
Only the dragon horn in the left pan.
Okay.
So let's just put some shit over on the right one.
Yeah, so the goblins were all putting offerings and stuff like that of valuable things in there, not just throwing like rocks and turds in there, right? Like, so I'm also worried that there might be a component where you have to actually put stuff of offer in there. And also, I'm also worried that if we don't get the weight right, then maybe we all die. So I'm going to take that pouch of 300 silver coins, Ted. Can I like, if I can get up close and look at that horn, can I kind of maybe guesstimate how heavy it actually is?
You can easily climb up on the plinth and look in the pan without touching the horn. It's hard to say exactly. It does look, it's quite large. It's from a dragon.
Right.
And it does look fairly dense. Not, I mean, I don't know if you've ever like, picked up like a cow horn. It looks heavier than that. It's heavy black, almost like onyx, and quite thick at the base. Probably pretty weighty.
Okay. While John is in here investigating, I'm going to run down and grab those 2 silver shields and bring them back, and I will put them in the pan.
Okay. The pan does not move at all.
I put the 2 silver short swords in there.
Okay. You see it kind of seem to waver for a moment, but barely moves.
Put the money in there.
I put the 300 silver coins and the 19 gold that I got from Swiber.
It makes a distinct click and moves some, but does not balance the scale.
I have 9 gold on my character from generation, so I'll put that in.
Doesn't seem to move any extra.
Okay. And that's pretty much everything I have that's valuable.
What about the Mecha Godzilla broken gem?
Yeah, we could try that.
Doesn't move any further.
Okay. Do you have any money on you, John, or no?
Well, actually, the 19 Swiber had no money. This guy Bram has 19 gold. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then I couldn't loot your new character.
Stole it.
Well, no, because we'll just say that 19 gold is in the. Bram will have given that 19 gold to the thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put my spell book in there.
It makes a distinct clonk and moves about halfway down towards balancing.
I'm wondering if it's based more on value, John, than it is on actual weight of the item.
Definitely, yeah. What else we got going on?
My previous character had 19 or 20 gold on it. Let me look that up. I would have looted that at the same time.
Sure.
What if I put myself on there? How much is a halfling?
It doesn't. It doesn't do anything.
Okay. It doesn't do a lot for my self-esteem.
No, I can see where it would. I like your spell book though.
Your spell book was a lot though. Let me see here. I literally just had my other character and I lost it.
I have nothing else of value. I throw a dagger on there.
Doesn't move any further.
Hold on one sec. Fragath Rotstone had 26 gold on him.
It wobbles a little bit, but doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
We have nowhere else to go, right? There's nowhere else to go. Yeah. What did we leave behind? Was there anything else left behind? No.
I can't think of anything.
A lot of what you've put in, Mike, didn't belong to you.
That's true. Except I did claim it through combat, which is very goblin, Ted.
I put all of my stuff in there, all my gear.
Doesn't move any further.
God damn it. Let's search the room and see if anything else is valuable in the room.
It's empty. Dust, reliefs, the scales, the dragon horn in the left, a pile of stuff with a spell book on top of it.
All right, let's take everything out again and just try John's spell book.
Okay, so you take everything out and it kaboom, goes back. You put just the spell book in and it goes about halfway to balance.
Okay. What if I put my holy symbol in there?
Okay. It clicks into balance. The contents of the pan vanish and a door opens in the wall directly behind the balance or behind the scales.
God damn it. Our spell book and my holy symbol's gone?
They're gone.
That's no bueno, dude. I can't cast spells without that thing, I don't think. All right. Cool. Our ship better be waiting in a box on the other side.
The door opened. It totally opened, though.
All right, cool. I'm going to leave those silver shields behind because they're probably pretty heavy. Actually, they're only one slot, but I'll take the silver swords.
Okay.
And the money back.
Okay. So you pile all the rest of your stuff in your pockets again. The scale is balanced. The door opens in the wall. Totally missed. You totally couldn't see it before, and it pops open with a satisfying clunk. Looking through with shining your torchlight, you see that it goes 10 feet in a 5-foot wide corridor, opening to a T intersection of a 10-foot wide corridor going east and west. And when you come up to that junction there, directly opposite you see a deep relief of what you believe must be Armansquagulat himself, carved in the stone. Once painted in bold colors, the paint has faded and flaked away. The hero appears muscular and powerful, well clad in armor and festooned with weapons. Upon his brow, painted in gold paint, is a heavy golden torque. To your right, the air has no smell, but you can hear a clicking sound like teeth gnashing rapidly. And on the left, you hear nothing, but you smell rot.
I touched the statue.
All right. The statue, it's not a statue, it's just a deep relief in the wall, but you can step up to it and check it out. And it is like the other reliefs in other rooms, carved very similarly. A bit like, Mayan carving in that sort of the way it's rounded and kind of deep in the edges and stuff.
I probably had the torque.
Okay. The torque, it turns out to just be painted stone, but you notice that the eyes of the statue are not paint, but are actually look like some kind of eye set into the stone. And in fact, they're looking around.
Oh, it's like that Big Trouble in Little China guy.
Just sort of like you can't tell if they're real eyeballs or painted thing or
when
glass
I see it move,
stone,
like out of sheer reaction, I do like a curly or a mow, and I like poke it like real quick.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. So you discover, in fact, that it appears to just be little painted orbs on a wire or something in there, and that just your air pressure has just caused them to move around in there, and it's a trick. You can feel them, you just poke them, and it's just a trick.
Gotcha.
Like a mere mechanical contrivance.
Excellent.
But the smell of rot from your left continues, and you are starting to get a little unnerved by the sound off to the right.
Dude, where do you want to go?
Looks bad either way. Flip a coin.
Yeah, flip a coin.
1 to 2 west. West.
West it is. Okay. So you go to the west and you go about 10 feet, and it then opens to the right and left, 2 corridors going around. So, the one to your right then would go sort of northwest curving, and then southwest on the other one. And just at the edge of your torchlight from this point, you can see that on the outer wall, on both sides, you see small niches large niches in the stone. The walls here are similar construction to that of earlier hallways. But there is a band of painted scenes that run along goblin eye level that depict what you presume to be the deeds of the fighting fists of the Nosebones, painted in a sort of a running story, kind of like the bio tapestry. Goblins can be seen fighting men, other goblins, dwarves, and strange and mysterious creatures. Although simple and stylized, the scenes are graphically violent, and several figures with distinct features can be seen repeatedly. Despite their age, these painted scenes remain relatively bright and legible. The air here is still and cold, and there's strong smell of decay, and the air tastes sharp, reminding you of the smell before a storm.
That's in both directions?
Yeah, both directions. Oh,
and
oops.
What's in the
just
niches?
lost.
And John, I think you turned off your camera or something, dude.
Yeah, we just lost you video.
Yeah, I'm still on the stream, but
okay. The niches, from where you're at, you can't see what's in them. But there is something in the niches.
I go investigate the nearest one.
Right or left?
I'll go to the one to the right.
Okay. So the first niche holds what you presume to be an honored nosebone warrior, seated kind of like they're like in a cross-legged position with its hands in its lap, sort of sitting up in its niche. It's its actual body. The skin is withered and shrunken upon its bones, and it's wrapped kind of in a death shroud. You can't see too much detail, but there's clearly a body under there, and it seems to be wearing its armor and weapons. And you can see more niches following the line around.
Okay. Anything overtly valuable with it?
You can't see clearly, but it does look like under the shroud, it might be still wearing its rude barbarian finery.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hold off on that because I feel like as soon as we tickle them, they're going to pop up and say, "What's up?"
Yeah, especially since it's stinky.
What do you want to do, man?
What's on the southern niche? Same thing?
You go back around or continue around the corridor?
No, let's go back where we came and
back around. Yeah. Okay, so going all the way back around, you see the niches start up at that kind of, they're basically sort of opposite each other. And looking, you can see there appear to be a total of about 8 niches, all with bodies in them.
So this is like a circle, just like a circuit?
It looks like it goes all the way around.
But there's no exit out of here?
Well, you haven't been all the way around. You don't see one in the outer wall.
Okay.
I move around the circuit.
I go with him.
Okay. Let's just see here. Well, you have been uncharacteristically uncareful for watching for traps. And you realize too late you have entered an area with a lot of odd openings in the walls. And suddenly, darts fly out. Lots of darts.
I use the halfling as a shield.
Oh my God. Aha. Okay, you are each hit by 1 dart. That is pathetic. John takes 3, and Mike takes 2.
I am out. I have 1 hit point. I mean, I had 1 hit point. Now I'm dead.
You had 1. You had a brand new guy. How did you have 1 hit point?
I don't know. That's what they rolled.
I'm going to roll to try and stabilize him.
Oh my God.
I do not stabilize him.
Okay.
No.
I'll just try 1 chance for like a 20.
Okay.
No.
Oh my God. So that dart goes right into your throat. And Mike is startled when he hears a little halfling start to gurgle and collapse.
How much money did you have, John?
That was the 19, but yeah.
All right. Well, you're a rich priest now, Mike, I guess. Yeah. But
Okay,
you are alone.
I'm not going to escort this guy and show him, but now I've got an elf priest. So now there's 2 priests.
Okay. So you're not alone anymore, Mike. There was a moment where you were
happen to have cure wounds on it.
I have no idea. Good God, for so much fucking shit here. I don't know.
Really not. You don't have cure. What are your spells?
Where does it tell you that? Oh, holy weapon and cure wounds.
Oh, good. Can you cast cure wounds on me? I got lit up by that dart that killed your buddy.
What do I got to do?
So there's a DC next to the cure wounds. It should be like DC 11 or DC 12 or something like that.
Probably 11.
No,
and then you get to roll.
Hold on a second.
It's 10 plus the level of the spell. So it's DC 11. And then you roll a D20, you add your modifier.
I failed it.
So that spell's gone for the day.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
I took 5, you said?
No, 2.
Oh, I took 2. Okay.
You took 2, yeah.
Great. I still have 5 hit points then.
Okay. All right. So you are standing there, the 2 of you, in this dark corridor surrounded by corpses. Plus
dark.
1 fresh corpse.
I have my light spell up on my shield.
Well, even with the light spell, it's still a very dark, strange place. Don't mind me. Okay. And you are still in the trap zone, but there's darts littering the floor from all the little holes that came out. And what do you do?
Can we figure out how we triggered the trap? Like, did we step on something?
It was the floor. Yeah. This whole section, you stepped on a floor trap and because you weren't watching. And I rolled to see if your thiefy abilities would detect it, and it didn't. And
we don't have thiefy abilities anymore.
Those guys are long gone.
Those guys are gone. Well, then you definitely triggered it.
So is this then a circuit then? Can I draw that in or what?
It goes all the way around.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you explore all the way around, you will find that at the very sort of opposite point from the corridor you came in from, there is a round door there.
Sweet.
Okay. Is there any carvings on the door that indicate what it might be? Like this way to the good stuff?
I'm just trying to find my note here. Doo-doo. Okay. Similar to the antechamber, there is a door, round, rolls to the side, with a seal. This one, rather than being wax, is lead. But 2 ropes, knotted lead seal around the wood or around the rope.
I want to investigate it kind of like what my previous character did.
Yep.
For any kind of tripwires or any kind of indication that if the ropes are cut, something bad happens.
Okay. Running your fingers carefully around, poking, prodding, pulling, and so on. You don't find any indication of tripwires or any other hidden mechanism. It seems to be a seal, just like the other one.
Okay. I am going to take the silver short sword and I'm going to cleft. Actually, I'm not going to worry about the seal. I'm just going to cut the ropes.
Okay. They slither out of the holes, freeing up the door to, you assume, open.
Okay. Open the door.
Okay. Your light shines in the entire, sorry, John, the niches are only on the outer wall. Okay. Because the inner wall has no niches because it opens into this large space in here. The room is round with a high ceiling coming to a point high in the darkness. As elsewhere, the stones are tight and well joined, but with large and irregular blocks. The room appears much older than the surrounding tomb complex. There's a low stone platform that runs the circumference of the room, upon which sits various jars, boxes, and bundles. Opposite the door, a heavy stone chair is built into the wall, bisecting the platform. It is carved with patterns and shapes like those seen in the reliefs in earlier rooms, but again appears much older. In the chair, a slumped figure can be seen, withered and long dead. However, the figure itself shimmers and flickers with a pale ghostly light. As your eyes adjust, it becomes evident that even as you gaze upon the long dead form of what you must assume is Armansquagulat himself, a second figure, a ghostly apparition, occupies the same space as the ancient corpse. Dressed in the same rough barbarian splendor as the Mechasquagulat and the withered dead in the hallway outside. With horror, you realize that this must be the shade of the great warrior who now looks up and gazes upon you standing in the doorway. So you're standing there at the door, and it's watching you, flickering and pale.
I wave to it and say, "Hi, Mort."
No reaction.
John, turn that bitch.
Can't you do that too?
Yeah, probably, but I think I lost my holy symbol. I don't know. I don't know if I can turn without it.
So is this is in the center now?
Yeah. So
in the middle, it's
where you've got that circle right here is actually a niche, and right here is a door opening, and then there's this platform that runs around the sides, and then right here is the chair with the figure in it.
Okay, your pointer's not moving, but
it's not.
It's fine. We're in the center room now.
Seeing my pointer.
It's okay. We're in the center room now.
You're at the doorway to the center room. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this door is not there. All right.
Make a big X, dude. We're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I will attempt to rebuke this guy.
Right.
Okay. Seem to have closed my.
It says you rebuke undead creatures, forcing them to flee. You must present a holy symbol to cast the spell. Undead creatures within near of you, which I think is probably I think that's 30 feet.
It's near. Yeah.
Must make a charisma check opposed by your spell casting check. If a creature
12.
fails by 10 plus points, it is equal to less than half your level is destroyed. Otherwise, it flees for 5 rounds.
What page are you on, Mike?
I'm just looking at the SRD thing from the character sheet. John would have the same thing if he scrolls down on the character sheet. Form.
Yeah, I have a 12.
Okay, so you made your check. So now your spirit, Ted, has to make a charisma check opposing 12. So you got to make a charisma check and hit 12 or higher to not be turned.
Okay. I roll a 15.
So it's not turned, and it says whatever. Whatever, bitches.
What it says is, hold on, I have its response here. Ungara apate kumakala.
Sweet.
Speaking in ancient Goblin. After a moment, when you do not respond in Goblin, it says in a very sort of archaic and old form of your own language, who dares disturb my long slumber under the stones?
I beg your pardon. We're just here to clean the tomb. we're just the maintenance crew.
Housekeeping.
Oh, where are my kin? Why dost I only see delvers and pinkskins? The folk of my tribe have not visited me in years uncounted.
Your people, great king, have long since moved on from these lands, having conquered everything around here. They sought new people to conquer, and sadly, they have moved on. I know not where.
Why comest you here?
We heard tales of the great Armansquagulat.
Pretty close.
And we wanted to see your greatness for ourselves. Long have we been fans of the Broken Nose tribe and their amazing deeds. I relate to him some of the stories we got from the scrap of paper and say the greatness that was your people was something that we had to see for ourselves.
You are flatterers, and bold indeed to have come to stand before me. You have passed the test of the sacrifice to come this far, but what deeds of bravery hast thou accomplished this day that you seek the wisdom of Armansquagulat?
Well, we've bypassed your boulder trap. We fought your mecha goblinoid.
We didn't do
whatever that was. Huh?
You and me didn't do
That's
any
okay.
of that.
We were there. I was there.
Were you? Okay.
Anyway, and passed your tests of wisdom to stand here before the greatness. But should you not consider moving on to the halls of your fathers rather than living here or existing here below the hills where your people have long since fled?
No, my place is here, that my people may come to me and seek my wisdom, as they have done since time immemorial. But all who have made a sacrifice at the scales are entitled to a just and fair, equitable gift from my hand. Is that what you seek?
What do you think there?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. Yes, great one. And I kneel down on one knee.
I like to see the wisdom and humility on the pink skins. You may choose one of the things that surround you. He gestures, his ghostly arm gestures out, even as his withered corpse arm just sits there. And you see that on the pedestal around you, or the sort of plinth kind of that goes around the room, there are boxes, bags, and urns. And you may choose one as a gift for your bravery and your sacrifice to me.
Okay. Maybe look inside, or is this just kind of like a Secret Santa kind of thing?
Secret Santa is the way of the goblin.
Ted, I look like, let's see, armor will do no good because it's all goblin size, although I'm dwarf size. So I don't know.
Everything's in a container. It's boxes, bags, and urns.
I pick a bag.
You pick one of those things and you roll a d6.
Okay, I'm going to pick one of those things and I'll roll a d6, Ted.
So John picks a bag, roll a d6.
Go ahead, John. You go first.
2.
Carrying crawlers.
Okay. You reach over and pick up a bag, and you can feel, from the moment you pick it up, you can hear the rattle of gems inside.
Check it out.
It is full of gems. Well, I say full. It has, very nice, 9 very fine gems inside.
Very nice. Thanks, Armand.
I'm like super excited about that, so I'm gonna run over like a kid chasing an ice cream truck and grab another bag.
You want to grab a bag?
I got a 6.
Oh. So you pick up a bag and you can feel there's something long and slender inside.
Oh yeah, baby. Pocket
Yeah,
rocket.
that's right.
I open it up.
You don't know what it is exactly, but it's some kind of wand.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So you have received your gift from the hand of Armansquagulat. Go now and seek my people and tell them that I remain at their service, and they should come to me again.
We will do that. Any goblin that we see, we will tell of your great exploits and remind them of their duty.
And don't tell them the tricky bits.
No.
They have
Those are
to
the
pass
fun
the test like everyone else. Now go. Leave me, you pink skins.
All right,
Yeah.
we leave.
Sweet.
I'm glad we
Okay.
didn't have to fight him because that would have been bad.
That would have been bad. Okay. Well done.
Glad he didn't take my turning attempt too bad. Nice guy.
Yes, he's
You
not
didn't
bad.
even notice it.
He didn't.
He
He
was just
really
like,
didn't. He didn't care.
What?
But he did take Mike's holy symbol, so Mike's going to have to replace that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's only a couple gold. That's fine.
I got
You do.
gems for doing shit all. Like this, this priest showed up. The elf priest
Well,
showed
you
up.
know,
Yeah.
sometimes you get lucky like that. All right. Well, then, everybody, that was a lot of fun for me.
Very fun.
Thank you,
I
Ted.
hope it was fun for you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you, Ted.
So that was just, I don't know if I said it at the start of this. That was something I created for a kids group that I played, and I kind of beefed it up a little bit for you guys, but it was real one shot kind of territory, and you guys timed it perfectly, and I'm really pleased how that went.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
phenomenal, man.
How many people
Nice
did
job.
that died? I had 2 die. You had 1 die?
Yeah,
I had
three
one.
characters die.
Sweet.
Yeah, so I consider that a win for me. Well done.
Well done.
You get XP for that.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say, in revenge for poor Squeegee, I did have a 4-armed creature kill John's character.
Oh, that's true. There you go.
That's
Well done.
true.
The-
I honestly do think that this adventure was written by Mortis J. Gobliano.
There may be some influence there. I don't know.
Imagine that, Ted. You run an
Yeah.
adventure that you create yourself, and it's goblin centric, and they're like the main characters, and
and you
we're
run 2
just
goblin
meat for the
characters.
machine.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good job.
guys. Thanks a lot for letting me run that. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, very fun. Thanks for doing that, Ted. Okay, I hope everyone out there enjoyed it. You've been watching and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line, the most criminally underwatched actual play series on the internet. Please don't forget to do your duty and like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications every time we publish new material, including these little amuse-bouches. If you got a little bit of extra cash, don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. You get a couple of extra bennies, including access to some of our secret channels on our Discord. The Discord is otherwise free to join. Lots of really excellent people there having all sorts of discussion at all hours of the day. And for your OSR games, including Shadowdark and OSE and anything else that you prefer, you should check out our publication, Feats of Exploration, which gives you a nice little alternate XP award system, which a lot of people have responded very positively to. So go check that out as well. Thank you, as always, to all of our patron supporters, our delvers, our explorers, our delvers, and especially our conquerors. Ted, you have the distinct pleasure tonight.
Okay, so conquerors. We have 2 new conquerors. First, Samuel Dillon and Matthew Mattis, who I guess was a delver and has decided on the strength of probably on this very amuse-bouche to upgrade to conqueror.
That's a new mat.
and That's a new mat. And they so Samuel and Matt are joining Gregory Distelhorst, Mike Small,
Mike.
DMW71, Richard Barton, James Doyle, Stephen BKK, Doc Jones 73, Jackson Bates, John Hooker, Kayla Ripley Wolf, Zachary Hall, Saps, Papa Bear, Zach Shiflett, Mercury 605, Ruben D. Caller, Dave Rosser Jr., Andrew, Dakota Nielsen, Cam, Steve Quisenberry, Brad Naden, John and La Logan, Kabrowskis, Magic Meat Machine, Tom Leary, Phil, Jeff Tokach, Nick, Terry Barney, Eric Lawson, Mando MZ, Faisal, Ted Gast, James Doig, Grunt, Andrew Schroker, MM, Michael Schilling, Stefano DiMaiolo, Ash Gabrielle, the Hexbrawler Twins, Han Dandler, Summon Toast, Dungeon Heart Adam, Scott Yearsley, Mech Jack, Kick Maniac, Diregrew, Tom Eric Garrettson, Not Matt, but not least, Matt Mason, Matt Gardner, Matt Koenig, Matt Young. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for your continued support. We really do appreciate it. I hope everyone enjoyed the Amuse-bouche, and everyone have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Take care. Thanks, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.